Yeah. I'm
Working.
Word. At one point, I'm gonna let you give us the intro. You know what I'm saying?
You want that point to be now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So this is the Business of Love with Bree Woo and
King. Wow, that was new.
And we are with episode number, we don't care what it is at this point. We are just, giving you guys some great content and explaining a bit about a recent adventure we had.
Adventure is a great word. Cheers to the adventure.
Cheers to the adventure.
Cheers to the adventure. So we are moving. Yay! This is why we need sound effects and stuff.
Because we would have had to...
People would have been clapping or whatnot. Not that people really care. But we are moving. We are moving from one state to another state. And we have been through some tumultuous times.
Take the words out my mouth.
Yeah, we're just going to use that word tumultuous because... did I drink? I'm sorry, I ain't even drink.
Stop cheating now.
So... we decided to, when we first got together, we both kind of wanted to move out of New Jersey. Right? We knew that was something that we both wanted to do. So that was cool because we bonded and we connected on that. But I think that having a talk, a dream, a desire, that's one thing. But when it comes to actually planning and making things happen, like the action, right, is like, whew.
Completely different story.
So I don't even know where to begin. So let's go all the way back to when we first got together. I knew that we wanted to move out of this state to another state. I took it upon myself to go to that state of Atlanta, and I went there in search of a potential apartment.
Right.
Now, before we had gotten together, I had already wanted to move to Atlanta.
So that's the funny part. And I was going to say it's kind of cool because he didn't even know that was my plan. He just saw an Instagram post that I would constantly... Stalker. He saw an Instagram post that I would reference Georgia a lot and talk about like family and different things that my family had going on in Georgia because that's where they're from. But I wanted to move to Atlanta after I got my master's. So in conversation.
After you what?
After I got my master's degree.
After you got your what?
Master degree, shorty, 3 degrees hotter. But we had to...
I really need the applause.
We had a conversation, and it was like, oh, wow, you want to move to Atlanta, too. So it wasn't a one-sided thing. We actually both was highly interested.
Yeah, so my sister actually lives in Atlanta. I have more family members in Atlanta, cousins and whatnot. So it was definitely something that, was... on my to-do list. It was on your to-do list. And so when we got together, it was one of those things that kind of just made the relationship more succinct.
Yep.
And I think that by us having that ease of like, wow, you want to move? I want to move. Let's both move. We should have known that the bullshit was coming. Because it was way too easy for us to agree, right?
Yes.
To move. And so, like I said before, right, my sister lives in Atlanta. So what I did, I went down to Atlanta prior to her birthday. I flew out there. I went to go see some apartments. My sister, pretty much took me on a tour. She showed me some spaces that she knew that I would love. Now, she wasn't thinking about me moving with you at the time. But she just knew me and was just showing me places. So we saw a couple of places and we saw one space that I loved. And I thought, man, this is it. We here. It's up. The tour was amazing. I FaceTimed you.
Everything was just too perfect.
Right? I FaceTimed you.
Yep.
So she hadn't seen it, but we were on FaceTime because, even though the relationship was still new, we were still considering, right? Like potentially moving in together and whatnot. And we knew we had time to make that decision, but I did still kind of want your opinion just because even if we weren't moving in together, I wanted your opinion because divine feminine energy is real. And I wanted to make sure that I had that aspect of like what your opinion is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to help put that razzle dazzle on the crib. So, and
it was appreciated. It was very appreciated.
And you can see things that I can't see.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that we included that. And you loved it.
Loved it.
Right? Via the FaceTime and the tour that we had gotten, you was here for it, and it was up. And then we decided to take our own tour.
Yes.
So we flew back out to Atlanta at another point. Flew back out to Atlanta, went to go see the space.
Yep.
Saw just that spot. That was it.
Yeah, because we were so like honed in on that. Like,
Right.
this is it.
So, and also we had, so, full disclosure, I had went to go take the tour. Some friends of mine had saw me out there taking that tour and were like, yo, hook us up. Let us know where that apartment is. We might, look at it too. I told them, look, this is definitely where I think I'm moving, whatever. Boom. They ended up moving in.
Yeah.
So we did have a little bit more of an insight, right?
Yep.
Like, yo, this is great. This is that, whatever. We apply. We do the application.
Got it instantly.
Right, we got everything out the way, paid the deposit, all of this stuff.
Yep.
And boom, all of a sudden we're approved.
Yeah.
Like we can see portals and where to pay rent and how to reserve rooms and all of this stuff.
All these amenities.
And so then just like that, after they gave us the great tour, the amenities, you guys got access. The individual who was our liaison, the person who was doing our leasing, he quit.
Left.
Out of nowhere. And so we have no person now.
Yep.
And so now we're kind of feeling like we're getting put to the back burner.
Yeah, and like we have to fend for ourselves with this process now.
And so let me tell y'all something about this woman here, right? She works in like HR compliance and whatnot. So when it comes to how people should be moving, she's very kind of oversight, right? Like she's looking at the operations aspect. Well, like who's talking to who?
Yeah.
And so immediately she's like, I'm going to talk to the person in charge. And she did that, and we still felt like we weren't getting any type of good feedback, communication or whatnot. I'm the business owner that's like, reputation of a business is very important to me. So I went on to their Instagram page and left a couple of wordy Karen, style posts.
Wait, so what's funny? I just want to pause right there because I noticed that you just explained our personality types when it comes to like business, right? Because I'm in HR, I kind of want to like find contacts and talk to people first because I'm like, okay, who is connected to who? Can you point me in this direction? I deal with this all day. But with him, it's more so like, no one's responding. We emailed you 3 times. Cool. I'm hopping on your social media platforms.
Yep.
I'm emailing this, calling this person, going off everywhere.
100%.
So it was kind of like a development because first it started with me trying to do some of the groundwork and then not getting nowhere and him just saying, okay, I'm doing this my way now.
Yep. and finally got a little bit of feedback. But it still wasn't the feedback that we wanted. Right? It was still kind of like laissez-faire, very just like, I don't know. So now let me tell y'all something else about this woman, right? She don't know how to play poker at all.
No, I don't.
Right? She has no poker face. And so I should have known that, right? Okay, she got no poker face. But what I didn't know was she don't know what a bluff is, right? For those of y'all who don't know what a bluff is, that's kind of when you say something, right, that you really don't mean, but you just say it. Like, yo, I'll knock you out, knowing that you probably don't have the strength to do that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or in my case, hey, yo, well, let me break this down how it actually happened.
Right. Because you to blame for this one.
So we finally, I leave the comments on the social media page. Now, here's the other thing. When we left the comments on the social media page, it finally made us do some real digging.
Yeah.
And we started doing some digging about the apartment complex in and of itself and started finding out some really kind of not so friendly things that people were going through while living there. The apartment's brand new. They just built it, so new construction. You're expected to have new construction issues, but these were beyond that. Frozen elevators, sinks falling, people shooting and not being aware of certain things, like just really things that really kind of were
disturbing.
I think bigger than red flags.
Yeah.
Right? They were bigger than red flags to us. They really kind of just made us look at this apartment and just be like, wait, this is not what we thought we were getting at all, let alone the bad communication.
Yep.
So they did reach out to me
immediately after you left your...
Yeah, I left.
Yeah.
I did what I do on social media because I understand the value of that and how to really play that. So they ended up even watching my stories, y'all. This was hilarious. No cap. The apartment complex was watching my stories. I think that they realized kind of what I do on social media and the fact that I'm willing to go that far to produce content about how bad the situation is. Notice we haven't dropped their names, and we're not going to because we don't want to give anybody any type of like credibility or credit. If y'all need anything, drop a comment and we will tell y'all. If you're looking to move to Atlanta, drop it in the comments and we will let you know where to avoid. Promise you of that. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to just like out them and shout them out on this platform. This is for us. And it's really just about our experience and less about them.
So send a private message and definitely we will tell you.
Just drop a comment. Drop a comment. Yo, I'm looking to move to Atlanta, and we will send you a private message.
Yeah, where not to go.
Yeah, exactly where to avoid and kind of how to move and all of that stuff. So they call me, right? And so the thing about me having a brilliant, woman on my side was I'm wise enough to keep her on my team. And so they call me, I call her.
Yep.
So now we're on three-way. Now that was my first mistake. That was the thing I did right, but it was also the thing that messed me up because I call her, she's on the phone. Now I'm bluffing. I'm fake tough, right? And so they like, oh well, it seems like you guys are good to go. You just need this form. And we need that form. Oh, and we need this. And we like, yo, it's a couple weeks away from when we supposed to be moving in. We did this a month ago to avoid this stress.
Yep.
And now here you guys are coming with bad communication. First, you just, at the beginning of the conversation, you said we was good to go.
Yeah.
Now you just gave us 3 more forms that you don't sound like you are too sure if that's all that we need.
Exactly.
So this is very disheartening for me that's moving in.
Yeah.
And so after I said all that, I went too far and I'm like, hey, babe, now I'm knowing that they're listening, right? I know that they're listening. But I'm talking to her. We on 3-way. I'm like, babe, we'll just fly out there and find somewhere else to go, right? Because the first thing I said to them was like, yo, what if I cancel my application? They said, oh, you'll get your money back. I said, I bet. Because, babe, at this point, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? We might as well just start looking at flights and fly out there. You feel me? And figure it out. I'm talking straight from ego, straight from the chest, right? This deep voice is real, like big man macho me. Mistake I made because after that, I don't even know what I said after that, but then we ended up hanging up, telling them that, we'll get the documents to them or whatever, just send us over what you need and we'll keep going with the process, whatever. The next message that I got was my girl saying, baby, you want to leave on Wednesday or Friday? Because I found flights from this day to that day and this time at this time. And I was like, and I think my business partner was here at the time. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I was bluffing.
And I wasn't.
And now we are on our way to Atlanta.
Yeah, because the thing is, I already knew, I know how irritated he was because this is the thing, all the things that he has going on, this is the last thing that he needs, let alone me. But I just know for a fact with my insight, it's just too much going on right now for us to have to worry about, a moving situation when we thought it was already good to go. So I just looked up tickets and said, let's just knock this out. I'm ready to get this done with.
I think the other thing you had insight was too, because you started really doing a lot of the research about the quality of the apartment, and you started researching other apartments and going on those same sites to find reviews and whatnot. I think that with you being in both compliance, HR, and kind of knowing how a well-oiled machine is supposed to work, or just knowing how operations is supposed to go.
Yeah.
I feel like you felt very uneasy with the way in which it was run.
Of course. And I'm also thinking like, hey, if we do move into this apartment, we have a maintenance issue. Clearly, there's no communication within you guys' team. So who do we talk to? Do we have to like reach out and do all this calling and contacting? That's not how that's supposed to go.
Yeah.
There should be a list of contacts for whatever we need. They didn't have that.
And so we decided to set off on a journey.
Yes.
And so, we were like, yo, it's up. We're going to just take a weekend, right? It'll just be an hour weekend. I got the camera. We're going to have a good time. And we'll just go out there really quick. No layover, no nothing. Straight flight there, straight flight back.
Leave Friday, come back Sunday.
We get the rental, we drive around, we do all of these apartments, and then
I forgot about that part.
See, she's laughing because everything that I'm saying did not go the way in which nothing went the way in which that we said.
But it was planned so simple, and it was just like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
you're doing a weekend trip. All you need is the flight, rental, hotel,
or
Airbnb.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk. You want to tell what happened with the first?
The first mistake was that we flew out of Philly airport, and the ride there, we're looking at the time, the estimated time arrival, and we're like, this is pushing it, because we have to drop the car off at parking spot, and we still have to get shuttled to the airport. We have to go through TSA, and we have to somehow manage to be at the terminal 15 minutes before takeoff.
Right. This is all we had 15 minutes to do all of these things.
Yes, 15 minutes to do all of this.
15 minutes to park the car, get a ride from the parking space, get a shuttle from the parking space to the actual airport, get through TSA, and then get to our gate all within 15 minutes.
Yep.
Y'all think we did it? Huh? What? No? Huh? No?
What's crazy is we almost did. We almost did. It was TSA fault.
It was that family in front of us fault. But we're zooming, we driving. Now, this is what I wanted to say. So here's the other thing about my girl is like, she's very dedicated to the work that she does. So whatever it is that she's in on it. And sometimes that can be a bad thing, because she don't know how to stop or put it down or detach.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened in this situation.
Yes.
She showed up to my office and kept working.
Yeah, I had 3 minutes to do something. I'm like, okay, just give me this 3 minutes. My laptop open. I don't even gotta set nothing up. Just let me just do this.
She came in hot, like hot. Like when I say not mad, but like you know, you come in fast. Like I heard her come to my office and try to kick the door down. Like I heard her kick it, like doop, and I'm like, what the hell is
and
going
when I saw
on?
that the door was locked, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know I got things to do.
Yeah, then she called me like, can you open the door, please? Like, damn, you act like you pay rent in this mug. Okay, here. I open the door. She goes straight to my business partner office, sit down at his desk like, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sin.
Thanks, Sin.
She goes straight to his office, starts sitting down, doing more work. Now, I'm sitting there like, y'all know we are not about to make it to this flight. I'm thinking that, but I'm like, yo, positive vibes. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. We got things we got to do. I'm not even going to worry about it. Yep. We out. We jump on the road. We shoot down there.
Yep.
We get there in decent time. Like, so yes. we get to the actual shuttle. Shuttle takes us to the airport.
Yep.
We get to TSA. Was this where the first family? That was the
yes.
first. So, this is the greatest moment in our relationship, actually. This was the single greatest moment in our relationship. And fellas, you will be able to rock with me on this one. We run through the airport to get to TSA. We get to TSA, there's a family in front of us, just one single family. That's it. It's just us and them. And we are like, oh, we can make it.
Yeah.
Little did we know they had probably like never flown before. So their traveling experience, they asking TSA all types of questions and whatnot, kind of just in the way. We kind of wanted to go around them. So we shuffling, getting all of our things off together, whatever the case may be. Put, everything onto the belt, get through the actual metal detector.
Yep.
And then the TSA lady says, whose bag is this? Now, when she says, whose bag is this? I go, shit, it's mine. She's got an attitude.
I'm seething at this point.
She is hot. And it's funny because she mad at me for being irresponsible and leaving stuff in the bag. But the reason why we late is because of her. But she wanted to put the blame back on me, right? So I'm getting to the part where this is why it's the greatest moment of our relationship, because as they open my bag, right? Now, I'm going to be just 100% transparent with y'all. They open my bag, and in the top of my bag, there's edibles, paper to roll up, about a a quarter ounce of weed.
Yeah, all that. It's a party.
Some pills, like supplement, but you can't tell what they are.
Right.
They're just in a yellow like
Medicine
pill
jar,
case. Like
yep.
that's it. So they look crazy, right? And it wasn't a lot. It was only enough for the duration. But she opens up my bag, and that's not only the first thing you see, but you smell it.
Yes.
And it's
hits
loud.
you.
It's loud. It's just, and it's horrible. And so I actually have it on camera. So her face at that moment, she is reconsidering being in a relationship period at that
I'm
that
just
point.
mortified because I'm like, I already know you have these things, but damn, TSA is now opening it. Like, it's over. It's over.
And so TSA says, you left your iPad and your camera in your bag. We got to run it through. She goes, oh, they have to run it again? Oh my gosh. As soon as she goes, oh my gosh, they go, and whose bag is this? And she goes, huh? Huh, what?
I'm like, what's in my bag?
Like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, this bag. She like, that's mine. They open it up. She got this huge year supply worth of lotion in her bag.
I can't wait for y'all to see the actual footage of how big the lotion is. It's like this.
A year's supply of lotion pops out of her bag. And the lady is like, yeah, you can't have this in here. Now, you know she didn't want to admit that she had did wrong, so she like, just throw it out, just throw it out. Like, she's rushing the lady to do her job. Like, just throw that out, just throw it out, throw it out, throw it out. So now, I'm finally like, yes, because you can't blame it on me now, because we both got caught up at TSA with our bags. And so, of course, we get our bags. We finally get everything back through the TSA, and then we haul ass to the gate. We get to the gate. Luckily for us, the plane is still there, but the door is closed.
And it's not just us. It's like two other people.
There was like one other white guy. He was flying first class, so they let him on. They had already given our seats away. If y'all don't know how standby works, there's a certain thing where it's like, if you aren't at the gate by the time that they want you to be at the gate, even if the plane hasn't pushed off, they can then give away your seats.
Yeah.
And so that's what pretty much happened to us. They gave away our seats, so we had to, as soon as we got there, they like closed the door on us and was like, yo, y'all are late, y'all have to get another flight. So, this one here, she tight. She takes off, pew, down to the next gate, the information center. And I have all the footage of all of this, by the way. So she is yards in front of me. She like 2 gates ahead of me. And I'm walking. I'm like, yo, I don't know why we in such a rush right now. We done missed the flight. It ain't like if we get down to the gate now, they're all of a sudden going to put us on a flight right now. She was hot, though.
Yeah, that's what happens. When I'm upset in a situation like that, I'm looking for information. So it's not like I'm just trying to get out of there or rush to the next destination. I want the information and what I need to do.
It's funny you should say you want information, because that's where she went to, was the information desk. Now, where we needed to go was the airline's actual support area. Customer service. We needed to go to the actual customer service for the airlines, not the information desk for the airport.
Right.
But that's where we went to.
The 411 desk.
Right. So now we at the information desk. Nobody's there. Nobody's at the information desk. We there, just us and our attitudes. That's it. We hot. We don't read the sign that's right in front of us
This
that
is
says,
out of service.
this information desk is out of service. If you need help, call this number. We read the sign. We like, wait, what? Finally, somebody comes out of nowhere and is like, nah, y'all need customer service. It's further down. So we go further down. We go to customer service. She coming in hot.
Yeah.
She comes in hot.
Still.
Comes in hot. Poor little old lady at the information desk.
Why she got to be poor little old
Because
lady?
she was just minding her business, and she gave us some bad news, and you said, a what? Now, prior to us getting to the information desk, right, we're looking up other flights that could potentially get us there. Like, oh, this flight's leaving, it's got a connection, this, that, the third. We get to the information desk, the lady says, oh, I don't have no more flights going to Atlanta. She goes, I told y'all she got no poker face, right? Like, no poker face. And she, what? And so the lady says, not tonight.
Yeah. Auntie didn't care about my attitude.
Yeah, she said, not tonight. And I was like, whew. I knew better than to jump into a boiling hot pot of water and I was not about to jump in between two black women and a desk, one that worked for the airlines. Yeah, I was not doing it. I happened to look at my girl's phone. She's looking up other flights out of Philly Airport. Basically, there was nothing. Right? There was nothing that you could find and nothing that had seats. So they put us on a flight to North Carolina.
Yes.
We get to North Carolina. We get a hotel. Before that, though, we had moments, right?
There were moments.
Before that, we had great moments. We sat, we got drinks.
I mean, this is the thing. I will give you your flowers because you always give me mine during our episodes, but I'll give you your flowers because I noticed in situations like that, he is very sane, rational, and calm, where I'm not going to lie. I can be hot-headed with things like that. And I kind of forget, hey, there's other alternatives, like we can chill and have a drink. Like we can relax, we can regroup. So I do want to give him his flowers for reminding me of that. And like he was going to say, we had like a good time as we were waiting for our Chicago.
Oh, we had a great time. Like that's the footage y'all can't see because we was out there just saying anything that came to our drunk minds. Like there's so much cancellation potential conversation on there because we just talking about people and us and all types of nonsense, just unfiltered. Because we drunk, we having a good time, and we don't have no care in the world. And so I think that one of the things that our relationship, and I'll just take a pause here, but one of the things that our relationship grew through in that moment was kind of remembering that you have another person that you can rely on, right? Because immediately when I saw that she was like stressed and frustrated and whatnot, it was like, all right, let me take over. Let me be the planner, the organizer, the one who's in charge of, babe, come here, let's go here, let's move here, come on, this side, let me do this, just sit down right here, I got you. And as a man, it's very important for us to know when to do that, but it's also very important for a woman to be willing to let a man do that.
Of course.
And I think that that's one of those moments when they say submission.
Yep.
Right? And it's not like you submit to me, but I feel like you submit to the relationship.
Yes.
Right? And you were able to relinquish the stress and the burden of having to be the one who's handling everything, quote unquote, in charge, or the planner, whatever it is that you might want to title it. I think that I felt the relief come off of you. I know I felt the relief come off of you because when we was drinking, you cursed, and you don't never curse. Right. And that's how I knew you was just comfortable. You like, I don't care about nothing at this point. Yeah. So I was like, it's cool. And it was great for me to be able to take that moment in that role in that time because you had been the one that was so in charge of planning the trip and getting everything together. So it was cool for me to be able to take that responsibility, and that's a great balance that we have.
Yes.
But the story ain't over.
Right. It was cute, but we had some more moments.
There's more. So we get to North Carolina. I get us a hotel. We get a nice little hotel too, right? We was chilling. Nice, comfortable little spot. So everything's all good. And then we go to leave the next morning to get on our flight. We see a coyote randomly outside, out of nowhere. Shouts to North Carolina. Don't know why y'all have coyotes just running around
at 6 a.m.
Yeah. So, but we're like, yo, we're going to make it. No problem. We getting on the shuttle. We're waiting for the shuttle. Shuttle's taking so long. We decide, let's call an Uber because we don't want to play this flight game anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not about to miss another flight trying to get to Atlanta. We call the Uber. Uber's on the way, but then the shuttle pulls up right before the Uber gets there. Cancel the Uber, jump on the shuttle, get to the airport.
Yep.
Now, we get to the airport in time for us to be able to get on our flight. Yep. However, our gate is gate E. The TSA decided to shut down both D and E gates and to only allow people to go in through gate C. Everybody. No matter what your gate is, you got to go in through gate C. So it is causing bumper to bumper or person to person traffic. Like literally it is not moving. It is horrible. It looks crazy. But we get through it. We get through, TSA, and, no issues this time. Nobody's bag got stopped. Right. Everybody was good. And so, again, right, there's a moment where you look at the time, and as the man in the relationship, you like, if we're going to make it, one of us, that one of us being me, is going to have to run his black ass through this airport to try to get to the gate to tell them, hold up, my girlfriend is coming.
Yep.
One of us was going to have to do that. And I knew who that one of us was. So when I tell y'all this,
They don't know you a track star on the low too.
I didn't know I was a track star.
Lord.
I am haul assing. Like haul assing. Right? Through this airport. And I get all the way, I'm talking no lie, right? There was a moment where I felt like I was floating. And I literally said to myself, this is no lie, I'm not lying. How am I running this fast?
Yeah.
I asked myself that shit. I never ran that fast a day in my life because we was determined we're not gonna miss another flight. I haul ass from C past D all the way down to E gates. I get to E gate and they say ours is E27. I remember that number because it said down this hall is E something through E19.
Yep.
And then behind that is the other E gates.
Yep.
And so I looked down that hall. So I'm haul assing. I get to the little, E gate so I can see which way. So I pause. I see the sign. I see the time. I see how, and the hallway said, like it expanded. And I was like, I'm never gonna make this. Like the hallways move. It's getting longer.
It was like a movie.
The hallway's getting longer as I'm looking at it. How is this possible, right?
Mind you, I'm still over there by.
She's still at Seagate.
I'm still at my seat.
She's still at C.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, yo, I got a little bit of sprint left in me. I'm gonna give it what I got. I got down to like E7 and was like, 20 more of these to go? Nah, we not making it, yo. I did get down to the gate, and as soon as I got to the gate, I was like, we ain't make it, right? Of course, we saw the plane still there, hadn't pushed off, none of that. And we missed that flight. So we missed that flight.
Flight number 2.
Missed flight number 2. We go get our flights changed from North Carolina to Atlanta.
Yes.
We had to wait in there for a little bit, so of course we drank some more again.
Yes.
We got right. Then we got on the plane. We land in Atlanta. Now, again, my girl is very, very proactive. So she had booked a flight. She booked the rental, right? And now, here comes the part where I should have maybe have taken a little bit more proactiveness in the beginning.
Okay.
Because who you booked the rental through?
Lord, I ain't even gonna say it.
Okay, so
the yellow folks.
So now tell them what happened when we get to the rental counter.
I'm not gonna lie. When we got to this point, I'm like, okay, it should be smooth sailing. We're literally flying down here on an off, but we flew down here on an off weekend. It's no holidays, it's no events. We're just here. Got there, and as we're coming down the escalator, you could hear on the microphone, the girl is like, if you have a reservation, it's still a 2-hour wait. That's all I remember saying. And I'm like, I have a reservation. I have 2 actually, because I just made a new one. So it's like we ass out.
And the line was already to the escalator. It was from the counter to the escalator.
Yeah.
Right? And she like, yo, if you got a reservation, it's a 2-hour wait. If you don't got a reservation, we have no more cars.
Yeah, literally.
No, as a matter of fact, she said it's at least a 2-hour wait. I remember that part. Because that's when I was like, what do you mean at least a 2-hour wait? Like, are you kidding me? So we didn't have a rental, right, at that point.
Right.
We had just missed 2 flights. Pretty much rental got canceled.
Yep.
So I decide, look, let's just go ahead and go to the hotel. Let's decompress. Yeah. Let's drop our bags. Let's that's the one good thing that I know is reserved, right? Because I used a different type of thing. I paid for it already.
Yep.
I paid for the 2 nights, so I know we're good. No problem. We call the Uber. We get in the Uber. The Uber decides
that they want to kill us, basically.
Yeah, basically, she wanted to drive up a one-way street. And we sitting in the back of this Uber like, where in the hell are you going? Ma'am? I wanted to hit her with the Kevin Samuels so bad. Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, you are not going to find a high-value man this way. This is not the way to high-value men.
One-way street.
So we finally, she reversed, get back, do whatever. We go to
say, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I'm so sorry. It was, oh, my bad.
No, my bad.
That's the wrong way.
We get up to the hotel, and they tell me that they have now canceled my reservation because I took too long to show up. Mm-hmm. Now I had paid for it. There's an app that I use, Hotel Tonight, and you pretty much pay for the actual room in full. But they reserve it for you. Didn't know that, if you didn't check in at a certain time, they would cancel your room and there's no refunds. Mm-hmm. So we got all the way to the hotel and I had to book another room.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us, the woman was kind of nice and she put us in a nice little room.
A beautiful room.
Yeah, the room was popping. My credit card didn't appreciate it that much, but it was still a popping room. And that was pretty much, I believe, where our trip started to turn for the better.
Yes.
It was at that moment we had gotten a room.
Well, don't forget the Turo.
Oh, yeah, you did try to order.
I never got rejected by Turo a day in my life.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a rejection, but the person they weren't checking a request.
So we tried to book a Turo. That didn't go too well. But at that moment, though, right, I felt like there was a bit more like ease,
a lot of
in
ease.
the trip, right?
Yep.
And I don't know, it just felt like for me it was at that moment kind of where the rainbow came or the sun came out, something. Mm-hmm. It just felt different. It felt like it was a lighter, you know what I mean? All the burdens had been, put down. But I'm still grateful for the burdens because through it all, right, we finally did get there. Mm-hmm. The day that we landed was the day that we had the appointment to see the apartment.
Yes.
So we land, we decompress for just a little bit, get some food, and then boom, we go to see what is now our new apartment.
Yeah.
And we have a great tour. We really liked the building. We really liked all the amenities. And right after that, we did decide, you know what, we're going to go over to the other space and give them a piece of our mind. Yep. So we call an Uber. We get in the Uber. 30 seconds later, we get out the Uber because we're already at the apartment. That's how close they are to each other, right? Literally, it was no point in us calling an Uber. We should have just walked. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know that. So we call an Uber. We go over to the other spot. And then once we get to the other spot, of course, in person, they acting all, everything was all good. It was a random guy that was there that we had never met. Mm-hmm. And he actually seemed like he was on it. He's from Jersey, right? So he showed us a little bit of love and whatnot, but still at that point, I think the damage was done.
It was done.
And then we also kicked it with some of the homies that, that lived there.
And I mean, this is the thing, us going in person, I think it solidified like, we don't want to be here. Like our friends were telling us what they've been experiencing living there. And we're just like, no, this is the proof pretty much that we don't need to be in this facility. From that point, we definitely had fun, kicked it with our friends, and just kind of solidified, like, this is what we're doing. Like, we're about to make this move.
I think that there was more. I don't think that was the moment that solidified it for me. Mm-hmm. For me, I knew that we were going to make this move. I think that what that solidified for me was that we can move through anything.
Yes.
Right? Because to me, it almost says that, like, we are house shopping ready.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've gone through so many ups, downs, having to send paperwork, having to get paperwork really fast, having to do this, do that, having to, just be on top of everything, trying to get this apartment, and then things still not going right, and then us finding a pivot move that was better than the original, right? And so for me, I feel like that says that we are at the level where we can communicate well enough and get through the turmoil to be able to have a better union based on joining finances in a business sense or in an investment sense.
I agree. And I also will say that this process, it taught me a lot about just relationships, transparency, honesty, because we had to really lay everything out. Like, we're sending financial documents back and forth, and we have to be clear on how much you're making or how much you brought in this year. It can't be any room for, oh, I don't really want you to see that right now. Like, things like that. It's no room for it. And I feel like this relationship just showed me, like, yo, we're going to do this. Let's do this.
100%. And if I can be honest, right, I feel like it's a little bit unfair, though, for us to be like, yo, you know, you got to have those difficult money conversations, because it's a little bit easier when everybody's proud of the money that they're bringing to the table.
Exactly.
It's a little bit easier with that, but I do feel like it's more important when you're not. I think it's more important for you to be transparent about your finances when they aren't on point. I think that that's really when it's more important. It's a little bit more difficult because of pride. Pride, you know, just makes you say, look, I'm not really where I want to be, or I'm not where I plan to be, but this is the plan, this is the goal, this is the game plan. And I just feel like that vulnerability for some people comes at different stages of life.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like when you have a partner that you really believe in, it's important for you to have that type of dynamic. And, you know, money issues are difficult to talk about, but they're also the number one cause of breakups and divorce, is because people don't want to be as transparent as they need to be.
Yep.
And I feel like that happens a lot in our culture because we worship money for more than what it is, you know, more than what it's worth. Like, money is a tool of leverage. You know, currency is meant to be just that, current, right? Like things that flow. A current doesn't just stay still. You'll never have a still current. Currencies are better when they continue to move. So money's going to go in and out. There's going to be days when I'm, you know, wealthier than I am today. There's going to be days when I'm not as wealthy as I am today. That's just the way that nature goes. But there's never going to be a day that I'm not trying to build wealth. There's never going to be a day that I don't understand wealth. And I think that if you can relinquish on, if you can rely on your plan, and you really believe in that, because that's something that I've always told you, is that I got a plan.
Yes.
I have a plan, and I've always been able to show you the steps to, like, how these plans are working out. Hell, the podcast was a plan.
I was going to say, this was a part of the plan.
This was a part of the plan.
That he spoke about so early in the relationship.
And if there's one thing that I can say that really helped, was that you believed in it, right? There was no you know, there wasn't like a certain type of context that I had to put it in for you to understand it. It was really just like, okay, I believe in this. Like, I believe you, and I'm willing to believe that this is going to be what it is.
Yeah. And
so I think that that's very important, ladies. You got to believe in your man's plan. Like, you have to believe in his plan, because that's when he will, you know, continue to believe in himself. So super, super very important there. And I definitely got to say that I commend and I appreciate you for that. But back to our success.
Yes.
Right. So we finally did get to the apartment. We found the apartment that we want. We got everything, you know, in all of the paperwork in time. And mind you, they hit us back 2 days. That was a 48-hour process.
Quickest process ever.
And we were in there. We were good to go. And of course, the day that they hit us back, the old apartment also hits us like, hey, guys, just so you know, we have your lease and your keys and you can sign and you can.
Yeah. Sounding like an old boo that wants you back after they see you moving on with something new. That's just how it be. So you know how it be, ladies. You know exactly how it be. You post a cute little selfie, or you post an arm with the watch on it, and at the dinner table, and they want to hit you.
Ooh, talk that.
That was real specific. But I'm just saying, I seen it happen.
Post my arm on? Never mind. We're gonna talk about that off air. Yeah. What was we saying?
Yeah, we just got hit up by the old apartment,
right?
And they was trying to make it happen, but we already was with a new, you know, space.
Yeah.
And that space is so comfortable, and it makes us feel comfortable. Like,
yeah.
They reached out to us.
Yes, everything that we thought that we valued in the other apartment are things that, like, we really don't necessarily need. Like, I was thinking about it, I'm not gonna style. One of the things that I loved about the old apartment was they had this thing called the Euro tub, right? Which is where, like, the tub and the shower were in the same unit. And so it was like, oh, you could take a bath and I could take a shower at the same time. And then I thought about it, I was like, when are we ever doing that?
Right.
When do we ever?
We fell in love with the aesthetics. I ain't gonna lie.
There was certain things about it. There was a rooftop pool. Yeah. And then I thought about it and I was like, it's far as hell from the apartment. Like, I actually want to be able to just go down to the pool and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Quick. Like, that's a journey. You got to go across a parking garage, upstairs. Like, it's mad stuff. So there was a lot of things that we looked at when it came to implied use.
Yes.
a lot of the amenities were great, but when it came down to implied use, when we look back at them, it was like, it ain't really worth it.
Right.
Because it's cool to have, but it's not something that we're going to use. And so there were just a lot of things that we had gotten sold on that weren't as pertinent to us being comfortable.
Yeah.
And when we went and saw this other place, we saw a lot more amenities, not even amenities. We just saw a better setup that gave us more comfort.
Yes.
But, you know, to bring it all in, because that story was adventurous.
Very
for us.
adventurous.
We had a great time. We
Yeah.
definitely had a great time. But I think that some of the key lessons that we learned in that, you know, were, number one, be willing to, you know, have that counterbalance of authority, power, leadership, whatever the case may be, right? Because, you know, you took it upon yourself to make sure that we were getting out there. Because if it was up to me, I would have BS'd until, you know what I'm saying, it was a necessity, like, or whatever the case may be. You made all of that happen. I said it. I bluffed, but you made it happen. And so I was willing to relinquish the control to that, right? It was just like, all right, if that's what we doing this weekend, that's what we doing. But then when it came down time to it, right, you were willing to just follow along. Like when I was like, babe, just come. Just look, we going this way, we going here. I got it. I'm gonna talk to this person. You sit right here, hold this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get us some drinks. I'm gonna do that. It was very easy. There was, you know, of course, when a man is saying, I'm gonna get us some drinks, you sit down. You ain't gonna see no pushback at all, fellas. So maybe you should try to lead with that. I'm gonna get you some drinks.
Especially when he know how to make your drinks extra spicy.
Yeah. So we were able to manage and maneuver through that. But more than just commending us, right, for that, I think it's important for people in their relationship to learn how to have that transition of leadership.
I was going to say exchange of power. And it wasn't even really an exchange of power. It was just like, hey, let me take over right now because I see that, you know, you're a little overwhelmed, and then vice versa. It's kind of like we definitely had that exchange throughout the trip, and there was no problem in exchanging because we both at one point was like, all right, your turn.
I think there was the only time that it was a problem was when we walked into the old apartment complex and you was
Lord.
like we walked in, I kind of stayed back. I barely even walked into the office, right? I'm back here, and she like, babe, you wanna maybe and I said no, because if I start talking, I'm going off. So you might want to. She was like, okay, so we're from New Jersey, and she saw it on my face and was like, oh shit.
It's so funny because I just saw the thing. When you know your partner though, it's crazy how you can tell, like, okay, he's just not here for it, because we was kikiing in the Uber and laughing with the Uber driver. She telling us about, you know, Tesla's right there and this place is right here. And, you know, we laughing with her. I think y'all was even talking about stocks at one point. And we get out of the car and we get into the leasing office, and I instantly felt the energy just shift. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a little interesting. But nonetheless, we made it happen. Yes, honestly, we both made it happen. I think this trip, it taught us a lot. It really taught us a lot about pivoting, and that actually ties into the business aspect that I was going to mention in segue. Know how to pivot when it comes to business and it comes to things happening, not going right, people pissing you off, everything going left. Learn how to pivot and be like, okay, cool. This didn't work. Let me go this way. This didn't work. Let me try this. Like, keep playing around with it till it fits. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, I think a lot of times rigidity in relationships is never really the best way to be. I think that, you know, rigidity is what causes things to break.
Yeah.
You know, when you have something that's flexible, it can kind of mold and be shaped a little bit more. And the thing about relationships is you're supposed to be shaped by your relationship, right? Like, this relationship has taught me things about myself. It's taught me how to be comfortable with relinquishing power, right? Because as an entrepreneur, as someone who's never had a partnership in most of my businesses, right? It's or even when I did have a partnership, I still had a defined role. Yeah. And so, you know, when it wasn't my turn to play that role, I wasn't playing that role. And if that job didn't happen, then that was on that person. I didn't assume the responsibility and take that position. I didn't pivot at all. So, I think that this relationship has taught me the importance in being flexible and learning how to relinquish responsibility and learning how to be able to pick up on something else and, pick up that responsibility aspect. And so I think that, everything that you said in that, I agree with 100%. And I believe that it's just as important in both business and relationships to have both all of those aspects.
Yep.
But I feel like if you truly trust and believe in your relationship, it can teach you how to have some of those aspects.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the key things is like with business, you kind of got to go into it knowing that, like being willing to be flexible.
Yeah.
But I think with the relationship, if you're willing to learn, the experiences that you have can often teach you, right? Some of the things, some of the skills that you might need to have, right? Because that was like the first time that we had ever really went through some things like that. But it really showed us the dynamic that we have and the ability that we have to be able to play off of one another and all of that. And again, I learned more about being able to trust someone and their ability to get the job done by being in this relationship and teaching me that and showing me that. So I definitely feel like it's key and crucial to have, but it's okay if you don't, if you can get into a relationship and be willing to learn.
Of course. And keyword, learn. You have to learn things like this because as a woman who's always been super independent, and I have friends who are the same, like we're super independent, always say, hey, I got to rely on me to get this done. When you get into a relationship where you have someone that's like, listen, like, let me handle it or let me do this, you have to get comfortable. And again, it's something you have to learn, but gradually get comfortable with letting someone take the load off. Because at first, and you said this a few times, like when we first got together, there were things that I was just like, no, I got it. Like, oh, I could do it. And it's like, no, let me take the trash out. Like, let me do these things that, is okay for me to do. I want to do it. I want to help you. And it's something that I learned over time, and it's not easy because I still have moments where I don't really let him do things, and he's like, yo, let me do it. And
I think if I could just piggyback on that, right? And I think that this is something important to learn is like, it's not that I want to do it. It's not like I want to take the trash out. I want to do it for you. I want to do that so that you don't have to.
Right.
I'm not doing this because, I love taking trash out. Like, no, I want to be that figure in your life for you to be grateful for something that I've done because I know it's something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times women, you got to give men the space to do things for you, not because they want to do it. Sometimes a man wants to do something specifically for you because of how he feels from being able to do that.
Yeah.
And all of this super macho, I'm independent, don't need a nigga for shit mentality is getting in the way of a lot of men being able to feel some of the feelings of doing something for people. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never know that I enjoy doing certain things for you if I hadn't had the chance to do some of those things.
Right.
And I think that that's just very important in relationships. Now, of course, I'm not saying look to a man and be dependent upon him.
Yeah.
But give the space and access for that man to do what he feels justifies him being a man.
Yeah.
Or at least justifies him being your man.
I agree. And being single, like before we was in this relationship, being single, living by myself, like doing things like taking the trash out, or at one point when you was like doing my dishes and stuff, I was just like, oh, wow, this is different. Like, it's really different. But I could have been like that hyper independent woman, like, I got it. And I wouldn't have been able to see all the things that he, genuinely wanted to do for me to make my life easier.
Yeah.
So just, when they want to do something, let them do it.
Yeah. And I think that that's a great way to end this. Because
The doing the dishes part?
It's the Business of Love podcast. She trying to throw shade.
No, I'm not, because I don't even do dishes no more.
I was about to say, because I thought you was trying to throw shade about the making the bed thing.
Oh, no. He basically taught me how to use a dishwasher, for full disclosure. So that was that little inside joke.
No, but in all honesty though, I really appreciate this episode because not only did we get to share our experience and our war story of adventures or whatever, but I do really think everything that we said was very important about being able to pivot, learning how to relinquish power, and also just being willing to, I think that cliche ass saying like, oh, everything happens for a reason is cliche, but I feel like you can make the best of everything that does happen, right? It's all about looking at the silver lining, looking for that silver lining in that dark cloud. And, when you do find it, tug on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like when you find that silver lining, tug on that motherfucker, because that's what we did. We found the silver lining. We found the apartment that we wanted, and we didn't let up. It was like, well, I mean, it was easy because they were in very good communication. But we made sure that we did everything we needed to do to make sure that we got in there. Same thing that we did with the other one. But we just did not let up. We didn't let...
We was not letting this go.
Right. We weren't going to let a dark cloud kind of just like deter us and be like, oh, all right, we'll get to it when we get to it. Like, nah, we knew this was the silver lining in this. This is where we should have wanted to be anyway, so let's make sure we get this.
And I think this was super assuring, like separately as two people, to see how each other really worked together and got this done. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, this was super attractive because it's like, okay, when we actually do get into this apartment, like if we have an issue or we have something that we have to like be super persistent about, I know that I have this teammate and I'm not doing this alone. So this was perfect timing as far as going through all this nonsense right before this big event.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more because I definitely felt like there were moments when I was like, whoa, I'm so grateful that I have you here to help make these decisions or make this happen or make that. Like, there was so many moments of just gratitude. And I've expressed it to both you and to my business partner about like, yo, it's super dope to have a woman who is a counterpart. It's super dope to have a woman who is my partner. Like, there are times when I look at this relationship and I forget that we are in a relationship because you're such my teammate. Yeah. Like, I really just be looking at it like it's me and you against the world. Like, I know you my girl, but still sometimes I just be looking at it like nah, this is my rider and we Lil Durk and India. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Just joking. I'm just joking.
Allegedly.
Nah, nah. But as always, right? Gratitude to you, gratitude to the situation, gratitude to our development, gratitude to everybody that's watching and that's paying attention.
Yes.
If you appreciate any of this content, do us a favor, like, subscribe, drop a comment.
Yes, that Moscato getting to you.
Yeah, just a little bit. I only had a couple cups of this. They ain't see the first cup. But yeah, drop a comment and let us know how you feel. If you've been through anything like this, again, if you're trying to move to Atlanta, you need any advice, we are going to try to upload all of the footage, like the back footage of, the story, so you guys can see what we went through with
and
this.
Laugh with us.
Yeah, and kind of experience this in real time. But more than that, like we said, man, like, comment, subscribe. And let us know what we should continue to talk about, because we definitely want you guys' feedback and some topic ideas. Feel free to hit us on the Instagram at TBOL Pod.
Yes.
And we definitely try to make sure that we interact, because for us, though this is therapeutic and a chance for us to vent and, be closer with one another, we feel like our dynamic of our relationship is something that we'd like to share, because hopefully other relationships can grow.
Of
right?
course.
Whether you're single or in a relationship, and we both mean with business, right? And in your actual love life as well. Any type of relationships that you have with people, we love to be able to add value and hope that some of our experiences or stories can help that growth. I'm going to go ahead and end this, because if I stutter one more time, I'm gonna just go ahead and just assume that I'm drunk. And I'm not. I know I'm not drunk. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I'm a little hot. It's a little toasty. It's a little toasty. This Moscato got your boy, sweating, but it's all good though, because we done. We out of here.
Yes, that was great, babe. And again, continue to follow, subscribe, like, all of that good stuff. Share with people, and just get the word out there, because we want to get some feedback from you guys.
Y'all can tell we knew this YouTube thing, right? Because we keep saying like, subscribe, because that's what they said that we supposed to say. If we want to be YouTubers, it's like you have to say those words. Like, we went to a secret YouTube.
We're trying to get the lingo
induction
right.
meeting. Nah, I'm playing. We didn't go through that. They we got some emails that was just telling us about some things and some analytics. So it would help us us out. If y'all could like the videos, it'll help us get out to more people, things like that. Subscriptions also, just let them know that people are interested in what we have to say. So those two metrics actually help YouTube to push us more and to give us better incentives to continue to do this. So that actually greatly helps us. Either way, we're going to be here regardless. But if you do want to help out, those two actions, liking and subscribing, those are the best ways to kind of give us some applause, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So as always, we appreciate y'all. It's the Business of Love.
Business of Love.
And we are out.